It's Window Wandering Wednesday here in the Joe Show, and we've got so much to talk about while we look out of gorgeous windows. Things like a suit that lets you feel everything in VR. We got soft robots. We got drug-resistant malaria. We got Dall-E. We got Windows updating their visuals, and the average age of tech workers being super young. I'll do a deep dive also into Adobe Flash and how it shaped the internet that we know today. So let's wander. It's the Joe Show. Here we are at our first window in San Francisco, California, as I mentioned at the top of the show. I'm going to be looking out of windows and talking about tech stories, science stories, business stories, and giving my opinion on what's going on out there in the world while we enjoy these awesome views. And look at it, it's a nice sunny day over in San Francisco, California. I don't know if this was recorded today, but yeah, you can actually see the clouds moving in, which is very common in San Francisco. Usually I start off the show now with a deep dive into a topic, and this week's deep dive is on Adobe Flash. If you're not familiar, Adobe Flash powered the internet's entertainment for years before we had streaming video. Let's learn about how Flash laid the groundwork for today's video streaming world and what's happening to it as it just died in 2020. Let's see here. In the original Wizard of Oz in 1939, the film transitions from black and white to color when Dorothy transports from canvas to the land of Oz. A similar thing happened to the internet in the mid-1990s. We went from black and white to color. The internet was once a land of text blocks and dreary backgrounds. But according to howtogeek.com, everything changed in 1996 when a company called Macromedia acquired an animation tool called Future Splash and rebranded it as Macromedia Flash 1.0. I remember those days of Macromedia and them having to update all the time. Flash, what a throwback. As Flash spread across the internet as a browser plugin, designers entered the fray. Browser games, interactive tools, websites, webcomics, and other colorful content took over the internet. In 2005, Adobe acquired Macromedia for $3.4 billion and set out to make it even more ubiquitous all across the internet. But, as I've already mentioned, I think I said the word downfall, they had a downfall. Let's just jump into it. They had a downfall. Also, I remember way back in the day, there was a company that was making these Flash animations, and somebody partnered up with Stan Lee of Marvel fame, and he actually made a Backstreet Boys web comic where they were all superheroes. Maybe I can find it and put it in the description below. If I do, you can check the description. But yeah, the Backstreet Boys were superheroes at one point. Fun fact. With a file format called .flv, any any Bowser fighting Mario, any browser that had the Flash player installed could play video. As How To Geek reminds us, even now massive sites like YouTube, Vimeo, and Hulu once depended entirely on Flash video. But the downfall of Flash began in 2007 when Apple, Big Apple, not New York City, but the company, decided not to support it on the new iPhone. In 2010, Steve Jobs penned the famous open letter, Thoughts on Flash, which laid out a savage critique of the technology, saying that it had used energy too rapidly, that it had poor performance on mobile devices, and security dependence on one company, Adobe, made it a huge risk, as if they got hacked or something happened to them, then everybody was vulnerable who used Flash. So not a totally untrue critique of the technology. And Flash simply wasn't made for the rising mobile world. And soon new web standards such as HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript became the norm. And in 2017, Adobe announced it would discontinue Flash. Support officially ended on December 31st, 2020, just a few days ago. There won't be a return to Kansas for this trailblazing internet tech, but if you feel nostalgic, you can hop onto websites like Flashpoint and Ruffle, which have dutifully preserved Flash's rich history. Let's hop on. Let's go to Flashpoint and see what they've done here. We're going to leave San Francisco. So here's Flashpoint. I believe with Flashpoint you can install Flashpoint, and now, yeah, relive all these old animations from Newgrounds.com and eBaum's World. Yeah, all of these old games, man. Although some of those were actually kind of new games. Oh yeah, look at all these old fun internet games. I wonder if I could find the Stan Lee thing. It would be awesome. So there you go. You can hop on Blue Maxima's Flashpoint. We'll go back to San Francisco here. Or Ruffle. Let's check out Ruffle. It's a Flash player emulator built in Rust. There's Ruffle. You can install it on your website. Use Ruffle. Maybe Adobe can buy them too. So, long live Flash, but also see you later, Flash. It was fun while we knew you, and also you should check out some of the old games on Flash. Really, I need to find that Backstreet Boys thing and put it in the link. Also, fun fact, everyone knows Maruchan Ramen, but there's a new competitor on the block, a startup entering into the huge business of instant ramen. Globally, the instant ramen market is worth $42 billion, dude. $42 billion? Are you kidding me? $42 billion? I had no idea that instant ramen was that popular. Like, okay, I knew it was popular, but not that popular. 42 billion? And each one of the packages is 32 cents? Like, they got to be selling a lot of fucking ramen to be reaching that money. That's so much money. The industry is also controlled by a handful of Asian food giants like Nissan. They're comparable to Nissan. The startup is called Emi. Let's see here. Why Emi? Also, the question was asked, why ramen? $42 billion. That talks, man. Money talks. Emi, surprisingly healthy ramen. Looks pretty good. Reminds me of some delicious ramen spots that I've been to. A new take on noodles. Emi reinvents delicious Asian American foods we love with added nutrition. Capture the same thing. Maybe they use some sort of like protein noodle, because that's super popular. Like maybe taking pea protein, making it into a noodle, and then that's how they have a more healthy version of this. I'm not really sure. I'm not seeing. Yeah, they definitely have more protein, so it's gotta be like a protein-based ramen, which is genius, actually. Reminds me of another company called Magic Spoon. They took all of the breakfast cereals that we used to love as a kid and made them into high-protein cereal, so no carbs, or like a third of the carbs or a fifth of the carbs in cereal in the morning. So you combine that with some almond milk, some pea milk, or anything that's not normal milk, and you'll have a pretty low-carb breakfast. And they've got such flavors as cinnamon, what is it? Cinnamon, explore, no, shop now. Cinnamon, cocoa, fruity, peanut butter, frosted. So I've tried the frosted, it was pretty good. I've tried the cinnamon, was okay. The fruity, okay. And the cocoa was probably the best one that I've had. I'd be very interested in trying peanut butter. I love peanut butter flavored things, but that's only if you're in the US. Getting it out here in Germany would be a big ask. So that's Emi, and that is also Magic Spoon, the more you know. But let's hop into some other stories as we say goodbye to Flash here, and we'll grab another window as well. First story I'm going to talk about is not a hollow suit. I keep calling it that. It's from a company called Holotron, I believe, and it's a suit that you can wear that lets you feel everything in VR. So if you're in a VR game, you can put the suit on, and you can feel everything in VR, which, I mean, that is incredible. Also sounds a little bit painful. Like if you're playing a first-person shooter and you get shot, that's not going to feel good. You're going to feel like a pfft. We got a window here over in Buffalo, New York, looking over the river. It's a gorgeous window, actually, very clear. We got some construction going on while we talk about Holotron's suit. Holotron is a robotic exosuit that could transform the way we use VR. The Holotron is a lower body robot exosuit that can be worn to simulate some of the forces needed to make virtual reality more realistic and interactive. I'm going to point out it's a robotic exosuit, which means that it's something that attaches onto your legs or lower body, almost like a pair of pants. Don't imagine it looking like a pair of pants, but you would wear it over your legs like that. It features force feedback that can constrain an avatar depending on the physical constraints of the environment. The holotron suspends its user in air while providing the necessary movement to make it feel like they are moving. This allows the user to fully concentrate on controlling the body of their avatar. The holotron could be used for applications including gaming, job training, and controlling telepresence robots. There is a video here. I gotta see this. Let's see this. Allow selected cookies. Here is the holotron robot. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're just suspended in air. That's hilarious. Oh my god. This is like something that's... I'm really having trouble relating it to something, but it looks like something that I've seen before, where you're like suspended in air like that. Almost like a ride, I guess, at Disneyland, when they kind of like bring you up and then they just shake it all around while the screen is moving. That's what it kind of reminds me of. And we can see here that, I mean, in VR plus this lower body thing, like that's gotta be crazy confusing. Oh my god, look at him walking around like that. But where are you gonna actually install that? Where would you install that? Other than in like an amusement park, because you're not gonna put that in your home. Who's gonna put that in their home? Except some crazy rich dude or like really fancy people. But honestly, I don't know if I want that sitting around my house. Like, that's, I don't know. Or maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe I want a giant fucking machine that I can step into every morning, and then I can walk around outside, fake walk around outside, and then I can put on my VR goggles and walk around Japan and not actually be in Japan. Then we just need a synthetic smell device, and bam, we're there. We're totally there. So that's the Holotron VR thing. What do you think about it? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Would you be willing to put a Holotron in your living room? Oh man, no, I'm not even gonna go there. My mind went to porn, and I'm just not even gonna go there. Next up, why soft robots have NASA doctors excited. Soft robots could one day be used for a wide variety of applications, for example, space exploration, surgery, rescue operations, and much more. They're made of squishy materials that enable them to approximate biological functions. It is expected that the market for soft robotics will reach $2.6 billion in 2024. Soft robots, however, do have flaws, such as being slow to power up, but researchers are developing workarounds for these issues, obviously. Here's what a soft robot looks like. I believe we saw one of these the other day in a Window Wandering Wednesday episode. They are just, yeah, like gummy robots. Like, think of a gummy bear that can move, and you got a soft robot. Interesting what they're going to be used for. I don't know. Last time we saw something, it was kind of walking like this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So that's soft robots. They're coming. You can look into it. It's a trend. Maybe. We'll see. See you, Buffalo. Let's go somewhere else. Where are we going? Seattle. With a nice sun down in Seattle. We got a sunset going on over in Seattle. It's a nice window, but I wish we could see more, so let's go somewhere else. San Diego, chilling on the patio while we talk about The Pile, which is a website that contains 825 gigabytes. 825 gigabytes. That's almost a terabyte of language modeling data that consists of 22 smaller combined data sets. Diversity in data sources improves general cross-domain knowledge and downstream generalization capacity, which pretty much just means it tries to help out with biases, so there aren't like biases against whatever, against females or against white people or for white people or whatever it is. Just biases, or in language, so they're not racist models. The more generalized or more the more cross-referenced data sources that you have when you're training an AI model, the better. So yeah, if you're training an AI model, check out The Pile. It's a huge data set, almost a terabyte of language information. I'm not sure how that compares to GPT-3, which is also language information. I think it's on par with that, or maybe even bigger. But yeah, GPT-3 is also a big language training data set. Now we've got The Pile. If you're looking to train some AIs in language, check out the Dog Pile. No, it's just The Pile. Also, 1 minute read here. The average age of employees in big tech in one chart, older tech employees have a harder time getting hired or keeping their jobs in recent years. And older startup founders have generally had difficulty securing funding due to their age. A market research firm did a test on it. Here it is, the median age at top firms from Business Insider. Maybe later on these notifications, or never. Median age of an tech employee at AOL is 27. Facebook is 28. LinkedIn is 29. Salesforce is 29. Google is 30. Apple's 31. Amazon is 31. Yahoo's 31. Nvidia is 32, starting to get into where I'd be working. Nvidia and eBay, Adobe, and Microsoft would be my go-tos at my age. But I would probably prefer to work for maybe Apple or even Salesforce or LinkedIn. Salesforce has interesting leaders, and LinkedIn also feels like the most professional, non-confrontational social network that's out there. So if you're looking to work at these companies, you have the best chance of a young person to work at somewhere like AOL or Facebook. And as an older person, have the best chance to work at somewhere like HP or Oracle. No surprise, HP and Oracle. Older companies, older people. Though honestly, I feel like I got the heart of a young person and the energy of a young person. I don't consider myself an old person. I just don't. I'm definitely above 30, but I don't consider myself there, man. Not at all. Let's talk about another story that's not my age, like Epic Games. What a name, Epic Games. It brings to mind only the biggest, baddest, most incredible games, and they make pretty awesome games over at Epic. They make one of my favorites, Fortnite. If you don't like Fortnite, yeah, I'm gonna dab on your grave. No, really, I do enjoy playing Fortnite, even though I get a lot of shit for it from my friends. But they bought a huge mall for their new global headquarters. It's an old shopping mall in Cary Town Center, wherever that is, in North Carolina. They sold it for $95 million to Epic, who I think was doing an IPO or is going to do an IPO soon, I believe. Although I think, if I remember correctly, a majority of that company is actually owned by a Chinese company. But yeah, Epic Games, huge company, also fighting a lawsuit against Apple right now, and I don't think that they're winning it. But buying a huge mall for their new global HQ, that's kind of a dope place to be working as an ex-mall. I wonder how they're going to convert that. I look forward to seeing how they're going to convert that. If they're going to keep the food court as the food court, like, you know, you go to work, spend a long day, and you just need a Cinnabon before you go home. So you go down to the old mall food court, get a Cinnabon and some Sbarro's pizza. Oh my God, is that going to do horror for the furniture at the new Epic Games office if they keep the Sbarro's pizza? Just farts everywhere with all those nerdy girls and guys eating Sbarro's pizza and Cinnabons. There's not going to be a good look. If they put in a Taco Bell fast food joint also with Baja Blast, it's over. It is over. I'm moving to North Carolina to work at Epic Games' new mall headquarters. I really hope that they keep that food court, dude. That makes me laugh so hard. Especially because they make Fortnite. They can make it into a whole Fortnite theme thing. Jesus. Hilarious. And on negative news, now that we've had a good time talking about games, there's a new strain of a drug-resistant malaria which has sprung up in Africa. That is not a good sign. We're already having problems with one virus. We do not need malaria making a comeback. Global malaria deaths declined to only 400,000 in 2019 compared to the almost 600,000 in 2010. Several countries have estimated the disease or about to. Several countries have eliminated the disease or are about to. However, a new strain of the parasite has shown resistance to one of the most commonly used malaria treatments. The new strain could lead to more deaths, an increased spread in the resistance itself, and a loss of confidence in the malaria treatments, increased funding for more testing and research capacity, as well as effective uses of new drugs by providers and patients will help limit the spread of the new strain. This mutation was seen in Southeast Asia in 2013. It is now being held bay there with the careful use of new drugs. That is not a good sign, especially because we just saw a mutation with COVID-19, which is why people have got to socially distance and mask up. Masking up is especially important. We can't have this virus keep spreading around because with every new person that gets infected or with every person that is currently infected, the likelihood of genetic mutations increases exponentially. It's such a bad thing. What's happening with these viruses when they're reproducing is that they're writing their genetic code. It's just a sequence of letters: A, B, C, G, 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 T, A, C, G, T. And what happens is some of those A's get turned into G's, and that's a genetic mutation. Only a couple letters here and there, generally not a big idea. But when this is replicating hundreds of thousands of millions of times per day in people's cells all over the world, the likelihood of mutations increases, and we do not want that, because that's how we get either drug-resistant strains of things, or we get scarier strains that are more infectious or more deadly, or we could also get less infectious versions and less deadly strains as well. However, the likelihood is seems to be more towards the deadlier and more scary kind than the less scary kind. So it's very important to encourage people to mask up just for this fact, to save themselves from being a potential mutant carrier of a disease that could be even worse than what we have now. How people don't understand this actually bothers me and blows my mind. Let's grab a new window here while I talk about the last two stories. This is a Nice, France, kind of boring window. Let's move away from that. Dalston, London. It's a pretty nice window, but well, let's go for something a little bit more exciting. Moscow, Russia, with the fairy lights in the windows. Oh, and a big dog. What's up, buddy? That's cute. We'll leave the dog up. Microsoft is planning a visual rejuvenation of Windows. Finally, they need it. Windows has looked the same for tens of years at this point. They are planning on a sweeping visual rejuvenation because of the, I guess, increase in use over the pandemic. So Microsoft is going to be bringing out improvements for its tablet mode experience, and also just overall visual changes for Windows. Coming soon. There's no pictures, no leaks, no nothing, but it's rumored that this is going to happen very, very soon. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I think Windows could make some more steps to being some more similar to Apple, especially in functionality. Some of the screen grabbing stuff is way better on the Mac computers, and really helps me make this show a lot smoother, whereas on Windows it's a little bit more difficult. And the last news story here is called Dall-E, which is a play on Salvador Dall-E and also Wall-E, who is a robot. So this is an art robot, you could be saying. It's from OpenAI, which is the people who brought out GPT-3. They put out this thing called Dall-E, which is an AI that can generate images based on text descriptions. Also, just the name, Dall-E, so good. It can generate plausible versions of what is described to it with varying degrees of success. The output that Dall-E generates can be very high quality, but can also still generate some odd things as well. The model exhibits some unintended but useful behaviors. Examples of Dall-E's outputs are available. Let's check it out. Sorry, doggo. So here we go. To explain this, at the top, we've got a text prompt, which says a 2-panel image of the exact same cat. On the top, a photo of the cat. On the bottom, the cat with sunglasses. Meaning you can type whatever you want. Whatever type of picture you want, you can type it out as they've described here. And the AI Dall-E, or Dall-E, I don't know how they're pronouncing it, will generate a bunch of AI images that fit your description in an attempt to make what you want. And then I guess you select what you're the biggest fan of. So we can see here these cats. I can't zoom in into it for some reason. No. These cats. So the 2-panel image, you can see here 2 panels, top and bottom. So the exact same cat with sunglasses. Seemed like its second try, I nailed it right on the head. We got the cat, exact same cat with sunglasses. Look at it, we got one with 2 cats with sunglasses, 2 cool cats. This is awesome, dude. Look at all these cats. Then we got one where the cat has it more like a pair of goggles. Cat with goggles. Some of these cats are hella cool, man. Do they have some other examples? Yeah, here. We got a GIF. A cube made of coffee beans. A tetrahedron made of porcupine. Oh, so they've got a drop-down menu to create different things. Somebody made an interactive version of this. It seems to generate it pretty damn fast. I mean, you got cubes of coffee beans. pretty good pictures actually. For like articles and stuff, I think this is actually really quite interesting. It may generate collections. What is this even? It seems like they wanted an onion person that has walking a dog. Did a pretty good job of making a root vegetable person walking a dog, whatever this is. Let's hop into Dall-E though and see what they've got. So this is their blog from Dall-E. An illustration of a baby daikon radish in a tutu walking a dog. Dang, that's pretty spot on. An armchair in the shape of an avocado. Oh, that's pretty good too. Like, look at that. That's crazy. A storefront that has OpenAI written on it. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, here I can actually edit it. So I can have one glass sitting on a table. These are all AI generated images. So this is what we've been doing. This is what we've been training when we did the reCAPTCHAs. When you've done all those stupid fucking captchas at the bottom of websites, this is what you've trained. Congratulations, the fruit of all of our labor. We have AI generated text prompt images. So now when I need an image of a grandma wearing headphones sitting in a green armchair, I can finally type that in and get a bunch of options for my blog post about how grandmas love to sit in green armchairs and knit while listening to podcasts, specifically This American Life. How incredible is that? Small red block sitting on a large green block. What if I want, instead of a green block, on a blue block? Boom! Like that. Thank you, reCAPTCHAs. This is actually very incredible. I think this is so cool. I hope you stuck around to look at this and that you can experience it yourself over on openai.com/blog/Dall-E. I'll link to it in the description below. What was your favorite part of this week's Window Wandering Wednesday? What are you looking forward to? Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to talk to you. I'm getting some feedback finally for the show. We're starting to grow, starting to pick up steam, starting to pick up momentum. Only took goddamn 9 months for me to get here. So I look forward to growing this channel with you. That's it for today's Window Wandering Wednesday. Go Joe show. Hit that subscribe button, mash that bell, and come back every Wednesday to learn about business, science, technology, and more here with me when we look at news stories. I can't wait for it. Until next time, wander somewhere cool because you know it. I love you.